joining the locker room, my great friend, even though it looks like a lot of time, my great nemesis, because he's always messing with my great Cowboys and kneeling us. But he is an extraordinary man in the locker room, my man Stephen A. Smith.
What up, baby?
What's up,
How
man?
you doing,
Stephen
man?
He's here in Dallas. He's doing his show.
I came to blame you about Micah Parsons being gone.
We just had a great time out here.
I came to blame you. It's your fault Micah Parsons
How you
gone.
gonna blame me?
It's
Michael
your fault.
Parsons?
It's your fault. I mean, you're supposed to have more.
I
mean, who is supposed to have more influence on Jerry Jones than you? You talked to him. A matter of fact, you spoke to him the day before the trade. You understand? And you didn't talk him out of making that move.
He asked me to go get Michael and bring him in here.
You slipped.
I just didn't hear the pain in his voice when he said it.
That's right. You slipped.
And I wish I would have
slipped
and got that done. I accept that.
Yeah.
I accept that.
You slipped in a way you never did on the field.
Right.
That's what I want to understand.
Right.
You wait till you get off the field and slip. You understand? So on the field, you never slip. You never drop that
And what
pass.
I'm doing now is trying to get ahead of the slip and falls and try to talk to people like George Pickens to make sure that he doesn't let people like Stephen A. and all these other people mess with what he has right here in Dallas. Trying to already start something between his agent and Jerry Jones.
It's the truth.
It is
It's the same agent. It's the same agent as Micah Parsons.
Agent.
I'm not making it up now. I ain't lying.
But
I'm not lying.
But David can't bring that negotiation into this negotiation.
No, it ain't about David. It's about Jerry. See, you already passing the buck. You're already slipping. I'm here to help you. Because you know Jerry's my buddy. Because you know Jerry's my buddy, man.
Right.
You know that's my man.
It ain't
He's
about.
slipping.
Wait. How is it about Jerry and not about
I'm gonna tell you how. You cannot have the attitude that you're talking to a 25-year-old at the time, and you know what? You don't have to communicate with his agent. That's not fair. Jerry was negotiating contracts before Micah Parsons was born. Micah Parsons is a football player. Now, on a serious level, I've said this to Jerry. You know, you are self-made. You are worth. You know, Forbes just listed Jerry's worth $20 billion. Mm-hmm. He's worth $20 billion. The Dallas Cowboys are worth $13 billion. You're clearly the most marketed, the most hyped, the #1 sports franchise, arguably in the world. Jerry did that. A 25-year-old ain't qualified to be sitting across from you, negotiating on his own behalf. That's not fair. So the point is that David Mulugeta is his agent. That is the person you're supposed to be speaking to about contractual matters. He has representation for a reason. And George Pickens has the same representation. So Jerry, it's not about not talking to David Mulugeta. You have to be able to talk with anyway. If you're going to talk to the other agents, then you're going to talk to them too. Dak Prescott had an agent.
Right. Now, but let me push back on this, Stephen, because you say that Jerry sat with Michael, and he did. And they worked on some numbers, and they did.
Yes, they did.
Now, all of that is true.
Yes.
And for us to take that as a contract, what you're saying is absolutely right. That you have to go dot I's and cross T's in any deal.
Right.
But what I say you let David Mulugeta off the hook is when Jerry said he sent a contract, and I knew you had the agent on, and he said, Jerry told me, the agent told him to shove it up his ass. Mm-hmm. He came onto your show and said he said that.
Right.
But he said also, I told Jerry if he thinks this is going to be a stamp and approval, don't send it. Now I'm telling you that's where he went wrong. I don't care what Jerry thinks. If some numbers are on a piece of paper at 40 or 41 million, I'm not going to tell him not to send it. I'm going, wait, let me finish. I'm going to tell him to send it. And then I'll redline that 41 number and put in 45 and send it back. That's called negotiation. But he said, I told him, his commentary I didn't need in it. All I needed him to say was, oh, you can send the contract. I don't need him to say, if you think I'm a rubber stamp it or not, I'm not. I don't need that part.
But you're playing with semantics.
But that's what he's doing.
I'm saying you're doing it, and here's why I'm telling you. If you have to draw up a contract to send to me, right? I'm simply saying to you, I'm letting you know off top, that ain't gonna work. I'm letting you know.
That's not what you should be doing, Stephen, as the agent.
Time out.
As the agent.
Not time out. Yes, you can, if you believe, right? If you know that you're gonna sit out, if you believe that you can squeeze him and press him, if you think you have seen Dak Prescott and others do it to Jerry, Okay, where they waited and waited, Jerry wouldn't budge and stuff like that, and then ultimately he'd come back, and then there was a negotiation that took place, and they'd ultimately get what they want. That's a part of the negotiations. You're saying to them, they can't do what Jerry has done to people for years. And I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about the business genius that he is. That Netflix deal with that phenomenal series that you starred in, okay? Let me tell you something right now. I still remember, give me the ball. Steve Burley, give me the ball. You want to stay in the league? You want to stay in the league? Give me the ball. You want to stay in the league? Give me the ball. Right. So I'm going like, you said all of this, right? I'm saying to you, go back and do your homework about the Netflix deal he negotiated. Go back and do your homework about sponsorship deals that he did. Jerry Jones has pressed people's foot to the wall on many, many occasions. So this was happening to him and he wouldn't budge. And that's fine. But the point is, you can't sit up there and say what somebody shouldn't do when Jerry is living proof that that kind of strategy has worked on many occasions.
But Steven, Jerry owns the Cowboys.
Right.
Owns the Cowboys. David works for Michael Parsons.
Understand?
I don't care what Jerry's saying to the media. I don't care how I take it. If Jerry got numbers he's sending my way, I want those numbers. As an agent, what you have to do, and what I wish Michael would have done, is tell both of them, get your emotions out of it and focus on these numbers.
That's right.
But now, what happens now, as we move it forward, David, Jerry, about to come together again and talk on George Pickens. And that, I'm telling you right now, George Pickens was in, like I told you, purgatory hell in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I know.
You mean to tell me you're going to, now your agent's going to take you away from a good quarterback, something you have great, and go get somewhere else? And now you may make some money.
It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same because George Pickens doesn't command what CeeDee Lamb commands. George Pickens doesn't command what Dak Prescott commands. So that's different. Micah Parsons was a person that was in position to be paid the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. So there was going to be a stiffer negotiation. That should not be the case with a George Pickens. So you're absolutely right about that. David Mulugeta will probably know that better than most. And as a result, the negotiations may be a bit different.
Whoa. Then you just said I was right.
About?
You just said I was right.
About?
David Mulugeta, no negotiation should be different.
No, you can't say that. Every negotiation is different.
No, what I'm saying,
every negotiation is different.
Okay. So if Jerry didn't change, so all of a sudden
Jerry doesn't have to change.
He's going to talk. So if Jerry sends a piece of paper this time with numbers on it, is he going to take it and look at it? At least look at it?
Yeah.
That's called negotiation. Right. Why didn't he do that with Michael?
Who's to say that he says, if Jerry Jones says, I'm not paying more than $25 million, who's to say that David Mulugeta won't say at that moment, don't bother sending it?
Yeah.
Because $25 million, when the guy certainly commands more than 30.
But
I'm saying it could happen.
Negotiations,
it could happen.
We keep saying all that and keep moving the numbers.
It could happen.
So but we got to stay focused on. And the whole idea, the whole reason I'm bringing it up is, I want players to understand you are in control of your career. Who controls your career?
Me.
You do.
Me.
Your agent, your lawyers.
They answer to me.
You okay.
They answer to me.
And you the head, HN.
That's right.
I see.
There we
in
go.
charge.
And
that's
right.
what brothers on the football field have to get to.
But
you work for me, not me for you.
But when I was
I want to hear a 47 million number.
It wasn't like that when I was in my 20s. When I was in my 20s, I was listening to them tell me what was best. I didn't know any better.
Yes.
In your 20s.
Right.
You understand?
But you know you. You know you better than everybody else.
Right.
You know what you want out of life, and this is your life.
That's true.
Not the agent.
That's fair.
So the agent saying, I'm sending you to Green Bay, and we gonna get your deal over here. I don't want the. I want you to get me the deal where I want the deal.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. All agents, all players, everybody. You got to control.
No, that's a bigger message.
Especially a lot of us.
That's a bigger message.
Especially a lot of us.
Especially a lot of us.
It's your life.
It's your life.
You control it. But that's something we got off on a rant of. I want to talk about you, Steve.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the success you are, man, and let these people know in the locker room. This ain't happen overnight. I watch you build shows and things didn't work out, build over here, things didn't work out. But I never saw you even think about stopping.
No.
I never even thought you heard you say, well, that didn't work out.
Well, the funny part.
Talk to me about that.
The funny part about, obviously, all grace goes to God first. Without him, nothing would be possible. It goes to the greatest mother I think anybody has ever had, and my mom, my late mother, Janet Smith. Stuff like that is a given. But I got to tell you something. I don't think that professional athletes especially them, especially y'all, appreciate the impact that you've had on my career and my life. Because what excuse do I have to stop when I sit in a profession and I'm judging y'all? So Michael Irvin, you run the right route? Michael Irvin, were you in shape? We were at the Errol Spence Jr. fight together against Terrence Crawford. That's a bad night for Dallas. It's a bad night for Dallas, right? And I love Errol Spence, but it's a bad night for Dallas, right? Yeah. You know, were you in the best shape? After that nasty car accident, were you in any condition to be in that ring? When you see professional athletes that pound the pavement, that put in the work, that do everything you can, exhausting yourself to be in peak condition physically, mentally, emotionally, to perform, and we're there chronicling it, what excuse do we have not to turn around and give all we have to be the best that we can be? And so for my attitude is, I've been at this for over 30 years. And you know, I've had an awful lot of success in my career. But the one mentality that I've always had, and maybe it's a bad thing, I don't spend a lot of time smelling roses. I leave that to other people, my loved ones, my family and friends. I'm grinding. It's like, yeah, I got this, well, what about this? I got this, what about this? I got this, what about this? I'm still living, I'm still growing, I'm still moving, and I don't stop. And so I like, you know, especially when it comes to professional athletes, I like them to look at me and to see that I see what they did to be who they are and to get to where they are. And I want them to look at me and know that in my profession, that's exactly what I do to get to where I'm at. I'm not shortchanging anything or anybody. And especially since I couldn't play, the least I could do is do what I do on a great level, so you know that I'm formidable, that I know a thing or two about what I'm talking about. And I'm just incredibly grateful that I've been fortunate enough to be as blessed as I am. But most importantly, I love the attitude that God has instilled in me, where I don't stop. I'm a grinder, and I'm gonna keep on going, and I'm constantly trying to climb.
And some people are just performers. You know, they can get out, they can do a great show, but putting a great show together, organizing all that you do, the kind of schedule that you have, you do First Take, then you do your XM radio show, your radio show. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to do. How do you maintain the right energy, the right perspective in all of that daily?
Well, number one, I'm mission-minded. I don't do anything just to be doing it. There's a mission and a purpose to everything. Right. And it's something that extends far beyond myself. If you're just doing it for you, you'll fall. You understand? Because one day you'll feel satiated, satisfied, and all of that, and that'll be enough. Nah, it's got to be bigger than you. You do things not just for you, but you've always looked out for your family. You've always looked out for friends. It was never just about you. Even to this day, that's who you are. That's the Michael Irvin I've always known. If it was ever just about you, you wouldn't have the love that you have. You wouldn't have the support that you have. You wouldn't have people looking out for you. You wouldn't have people like me who love you dearly, because I see where your heart lies. And then on top of it all, you go out there and you pride yourself in being a high-end performer. You will walk on TV and look at the audience and be like, I know what they're here for. Right. I got to deliver. They came to see a show. I'm here for the show. You know what I'm saying? You think like that and stuff like that. Well, I do too. And so when you've got that kind of mentality, it also takes discipline. How much work are you willing to put in? How much do you prepare yourself? How much do you watch stuff, listen to stuff, read stuff? How informed are you? What sources are you cultivating? What resources are you building to put yourself in a position where when you open your mouth in this profession, that people know to respect where you're coming from and what you're talking about, because they see who you're around, they see who's around you, they know what you talk, they know who you're talking to, they know you've done your research and all this other. Like, he's not playing, so here you come. And then the discipline also comes into play in terms of taking care of your health, bro. When we were working together a few years ago, I was in bad shape.
Man, I got to give you love.
I was in bad shape, bro. That COVID thing almost took me out. Right. You know, I had 29.8% body fat. I was 0.1 point away from being a full-blown diabetic. They said, you know, mitochondrial levels and stuff like that. They said everything was awful. They said I would have been dead in a few years, bro. It was that bad. And when they gave me that news, I was grinding all of these years, working 16, 18-hour days, trying to be the best that I could be in this profession, that I neglected myself. And so I said, you know what, I got to find the time. And ever since that day, man, peptides, supplements, eating the right foods, cutting back on sugar, my body fat has gone from like 29% to 11%. I'm sitting there, I'm in the gym 6 days a week. I'm on it.
Right,
it's like, and it's not a habit, it's a lifestyle. Because I like when I run into Ray Lewis, I run into Michael Irvin, I run into the sideline, and they look at me, what? Look at you, look at you, you look good, you look good.
When I saw you in Miami, I said, hey, what? Hey, what's going on?
I was on it, and because and then I remember stuff like, I ain't never seen Ray Lewis out of shape. My man Michael Irvin is 50. I ain't never seen you out of shape, ever. You know, I'm just looking, and I'm like, what possible excuse do I have for letting myself go? And by the way, last thing, there's no wealth without health.
Right.
I mean, when I was in the hospital,
right,
I was doing well. You know, I was making a little, before my new contract with ESPN, I was doing well then. And I was right in the room with somebody that was broke. We were both in the same situation, COVID. Both in hospital beds, both sick, both wondering whether we was gonna make it through the whole bit. My money didn't mean a damn thing because guess what? The medicine wasn't working. And so I remember that, man, and I hold on to that to inspire me to be what I'd be every day.
And you talk about that fight that you lead has led to ESPN's First Take being the #1 show.
13 straight years. 13
straight years. Yeah. A lot of changes, a lot of things have come and gone.
Yeah.
The one remaining constant has been you.
Yeah.
How do you handle all of these changes?
Well, it's easy for me. Number one, I love what I do. So that goes a long way. You gotta love what you do. It ain't a job. A job is doing what you have to do to maintain or elevate your quality of life. A career is doing what you want to do, and it just so happens to do those things. I have a career. So the things that I do on First Take, I'm constantly prepping for. I'm reading, I'm watching television, I'm listening when I'm in my car. The engine is constantly churning. I'm looking at events. I know Michael Irvin's coming back. Let me play some old tape of what he said, because I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna catch him when he tries to bring this up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just setting it all up.
That's the fun part
exactly.
of it too. Because even when I'm watching you, when I'm not on, I'm watching you.
That's right.
Trying to get anything, so when I do see
there
you,
you go.
I'm gonna use it
There
against
you go. Exactly.
All I know is
I do that.
I know one thing. I know how they use the Miranda rights.
That's
they
right.
say all you say can, and then they promise
will be used against
you.
That's
so
right.
make sure you know.
And I know
what
you
you're
come, and I
saying.
know you're gonna do that. So I'm right ready to counter and all that stuff. But it makes good television. But I tell you, you know, me being the executive producer of the show as well, #1 in the mornings for 13 straight years, truly blessed. But it's the staff. You know, from the moment they made me, you know, the EP 5 years ago, man, I can't say enough. I have not had one single contributor on the show, including yourself, who hasn't given me a quality work.
Right. Yeah,
You know how I roll.
Yeah.
Every time anybody that comes on the show, you know I'll pull everybody aside one-on-one. Here's what I need. Right. Here's what I want for this show. Right. Here's what's gonna make it work. And not one single person has disappointed me. Not one.
Right.
Everybody that has come on the show has come through for me. You, Shannon Sharp, Dan Orlovsky, Swagoo, Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark, Cam Newton being on this year. I mean, Mina Kimes, Jeff Saturday, Mad Dog Russo. Yep. I mean, the list goes on the NBA side with Jay Williams and Kendrick Perkins and Brian Winters, Kimberly Martin on the football side, Monica McNutt and Andrea Carter and Chanel Gumake on the basketball side. It's like every freaking place I turn, everybody's coming through, the Dominique Foxworths of the world, and the Damian Woodies of the world. And I mean, I'm so grateful that people have committed themselves to delivering when we're on the air. And for me, when I came on the show in 2012, Skip Bayless ran the show. Mm-hmm. And no knock against him, because he was bringing, you know, diverse people on the show and all of that stuff. But obviously, once I took over, you had permanent folks, and it was an amalgamation of people, black folks, white folks, women, the list goes on. And it was important to me that I have that. And so to look at the show now and to see what opportunities I've been able to assist in other people getting, and to see what it's been able to do for my career, for their careers, that's what it's all about. It's not about, oh, I'm gonna get mine. What about y'all? You know, if you're not doing anything for anybody else, what good are you? You know, Swagoo wasn't always on Monday Night Football. Ryan Clark wasn't on Monday Night Football Countdown. Dan Orlovsky wasn't on there. He wasn't always on NFL Live. And all. You see people and the opportunities that they have, and it came through First Take. And so I'm incredibly proud of the kind of impact the show and myself has been able to have positively on the careers of others, because there's nothing I wouldn't do for these people.
Right.
And there's nothing I wouldn't do for you.
And I know that, and I appreciate you, my brother. And when I will say this too, because anything goes on in my life, you're going to call and check on me and everything.
Yes.
So I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
But when you get that EP, that executive producer, you get all of this power, and things happen. Well, Max is gone.
Yep.
Or
Skip Bayless, Molly.
Or Molly is gone. Then everybody turns to Stephen A.
Yeah.
Stephen A. did this,
Right.
or whatever. How does that make you feel?
It's a sensitive challenge, Michael, but it comes with it. It's big boy rules, and sometimes decisions have to be made. Now, in my case, other people made those decisions, whether through their actions, whether through leaving for another job, or whatever it is that they wanted to do. You know, Max Kellerman, that was a different situation where I thought he and I just needed to part ways. I have nothing negative to say about him. It was us, it wasn't him. It was us. We did not work together, in my estimation. But with anybody else, it was personal decisions that they made because something else outside the show was going on in their life that affected their employment on the show. And so whatever that may be, they had to deal with. But when you sit in my chair as the star of the show and the EP and the person responsible for the most part picking the people who are on the show, you're going to take the hits. I accept it because my body of work speaks for itself. Like you said, I've been #1 for 13 years. Like we've articulated, I've given an inordinate amount of people opportunities and will continue to do so. Not only that, look at what the show has done. We sit up there and we take the show to HBCUs. I'm the ambassador for HBCU Week, led by a wonderful woman by the name of Ashley Christopher, who I've helped raise over 12,000 scholarships in excess of $150 million in scholarships for African Americans in this country. And so for me, when I look at what my body of work says, these people with their podcasts and all of this other stuff, you can chirp and talk and pop mess all you want to. What does my record say? What do my actions say? Who am I? Who have I been? You know, my work speaks for itself. And the critics just want to be critics because they've learned that it's profitable, whether through YouTube or anything else, to be just that. More power to you. I can take it. Do I like when they lie? No. Do I like when they're vicious and acerbic while they're lying and embellishing? No. But they are not going to stop this train. I mean, they just don't know. I mean, if they think they are, they don't know me. They don't understand that you empower me. You make me more formidable. I got my boy, one of my boys, lifelong buddies, Chris Brock over here. I got a couple other people that's here in attendance. I got people that went to school with me, that grew up with me. They will tell you I haven't changed. I've edified, I've grown, I've learned more, but the core essence of who I am who I am. And I will tell you a way that I did change. I got nicer.
Yes, you did.
What they're not realizing is that when you chirp at me like that, my temptation is not to be nice.
Yeah.
So what they doing is they bring in that dude out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what you're sitting here, it's not. It would never happen with you. But who you're sitting here talking to is a person that's learned to be restrained, although I'm resistant to it. Like when they talk and they come at me, it like makes me happy. It's like, now I got an excuse to really be as raw as I want to be. So they can try it, you know, because I got business to handle, you know, on the corporate side and everything like that.
I can dig it.
But I own my own YouTube channel. I own my own podcast. So at any given moment, I can reach out and touch you.
Right.
And at any given moment, I will.
Right.
And knowing that keeps me at ease.
And a couple things on that, Steve, that really come to mind when I think about it. I remember them early days back at Best Damn Sports Show.
Yep.
You were you were a writer coming in to do some of the shows with us at Best Damn Show. And you remember my man George over there, man.
Yeah, George Greenberg.
We
love George Greenberg. We love George Greenberg.
Wherever you are, we love you, bro.
Steve Tello, George Greenberg.
All the great dudes. And I remember now, George and I would be sitting talking. He was telling me, this is when he was first telling me about bringing you on.
Yep.
He said, I got this guy, Philly. I really like him, Michael. He's good. He's smart. He's very good at what he's doing. He just never smiles.
Yep.
And he said, I said, George.
David Hill told me the same
right,
thing.
right.
David
I said,
Hill.
A black man
Right.
just that loud and believe in himself and never smile, gonna come off as an angry black man. George said, that's what I'm saying. He said, I need you to help me talk to him.
Yes, he did.
Make sure he
Yes,
smiles
he
a
did.
little. Right?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
I need him to help me talk to him so he can smile a little bit.
And you sure enough did.
Right,
like, where's that smile, bro? Where's that smile? Yeah.
Have fun doing this,
Right,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right.
Because you had, and I understood it, and I tried to tell George, I said, George, he's fresh out of where he's coming from.
Yes.
He's in fight mode.
Yes.
You trying to get him in play mode.
Right.
He doesn't feel he in a place yet.
Too quickly.
Right, he ain't in a
Too
place
quickly.
to play yet.
Too quickly.
I still got to fight. I'm still on my history,
Right.
working towards my destiny.
That's right.
But I got to shake that history off me as I move.
Exactly.
And the farther and farther, the more
told
money
him.
you make.
You told him right.
Yeah, it was right. And man, I'm telling you. So like you talk about, when you talk about a lot of these guys, and ultimately, when we leave time to go to eternity, what we put in front of God won't be the trophies we won.
Right.
It'll be about the people you've helped.
That's right.
Those are the people you put on the table to say, hey man, let me hit this up button.
You know,
and you've helped a lot of people.
It's interesting, man, because these people, there's so many people out there talking. Find me the person that says, Stephen A., we needed help and he never helped us. We needed advice, he never gave it to us. We needed counsel, he never gave it to us. Whatever it is that we need, whatever I can do, I've always done. Record speaks for itself. And there's a whole bunch of people, especially in this business, that know better. Now, whether they want to tell the truth about it or not is their business. But there's a whole bunch of people, and the truth is out there. And so Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, once gave me a bit of advice, and I've held on to it for years, because I asked him, because he was taking so much criticism at one time, and I asked him, how does he deal with it? He said, it's a lot easier to deal with when you know the truth.
Right.
He said, see, they don't know. They talking about things they don't know. I know. You see what I'm saying? Because it's me they're talking about. So I know what I've done running Disney. I know what money I brought in. I know what success we've had. I know all of these things. And he said that when it comes to you, you know what you've done. You know what you've done for the show. You know what you've done for the network. You know what you've done for the business. You know what you've done for your culture, your neighborhood, your family, your friends, your colleagues and contemporaries. He said, you know all of this. He said, so you have to allow that to empower you. So it can help you decide when you need to step up and step out and speak, and when you need to contain yourself and chill. And only you can answer that question. And when he said that to me, I was like, he's absolutely right. Because a lot of times I see people talking and they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
And I just go like, it's okay. Let them spread those lies. It's all right.
Right. But you're in a unique place. One thing I won't do, Stephen A., or I make sure I try to stay away from, is the politics.
Yep.
Because sports is such a uniter. Politics, such a divider.
Right.
You realm in both worlds, man. Talk to me about that commingling. Sports, the uniter, and politics.
I would love to tell you that I love it, but it's not as simple as that. I feel an inherent responsibility because I can do it. I am a black man in America that has watched politics ravage our community for centuries. And I'm in a position where I get to speak on issues, not emotionally, but intellectually and fact-based. You want to talk about the economy? Let's talk about it. You want to talk about immigration reform? Let's talk about it. You want to talk about affordability, safety in the streets, education? Let's talk about it. Let's have these conversations. But I'm not taking sides. I'm talking about issues. I'm not talking about Democratic Party line, GOP party line, because I don't trust none of them. I'm talking about the issues that directly affect our community. Why is it that every time unemployment is a number in the white community that is damn near double in the black community? How come we're always talking about safety in the streets, primarily when it comes to us, when we see crime going on all over the world? Why is it that we have an issue like DEI, like black people should be synonymous with it, when white women are the biggest beneficiaries of DEI? Why is it that we would ignore that Joe Biden let 7 million illegal immigrants cross the border instead of following what Obama did when he deported more people in his presidency than Trump did in the first term. Why would we ignore that? Why would we as black people sit back and when we bring up these issues and we ask these questions, why would we then turn around and because you don't agree with me or you don't agree with somebody, we're a sellout or something like that because we have a difference of opinion based on the facts, Why would we do that? My point is that I'm asking those questions because the dialogue and the conversation is what we need. It's not about, oh, I need an answer from you, because depending on what your ideological tilt is, you're going to side with one side or the other. The issue is being able to have the discussion and being able to say, this is what we need to be talking about. We got a shutdown that's going on right now. Over 1 million federal workers are not getting paid. They include our military men and women. They include over 300,000 women. Why is this happening? Okay, you Trump, you're supposed to be the deal maker. What the hell is up? You dropping the ball. You the GOP. Damn it, where's your heart? Where's your soul? Come on now, get to the negotiating table. Open it up. But then the GOP opens their mouth and they say, well, when they were in office, we passed this continual resolution 13 separate times to keep the government rolling. Why all of a sudden when Trump get back in office, y'all don't want to sign it? Is it about the fact that we don't trust one another to negotiate once we sign this deal? Or is it the fact that you want to make sure you do everything you can to get at Donald Trump because you hate him so much and you believe this is a moment for you leverage-wise to show a voter's revolt and a voter's regret that we voted for him? These are the kind of things that I'm saying. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm saying everything that I said to you is just a legitimate question.
Right.
It's a legitimate question that we as a community should be a part of. As lo and behold, here I come with the microphone and the camera, and Sirius XM, Fox News, CNN, News Nation, MSNBC, everybody clamoring, yo, Stephen A., we want to hear from you. When have we seen a black person in politics outside of Obama that people are literally clamoring to hear from? So my attitude is, I'm not saying there's only Obama, there's many others, of course, but I'm just using him as an example. I'm simply saying, if I'm one of those people, all I want to do is be responsible enough to bring attention to the issues that need attention brought to it to help our community and to help America be better.
Right.
That's it.
The real issues. Not the things
there
that
you
they're
go.
putting out here saying that there are issues that they are not
the
real
issues.
Real issues. But I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes.
Let me get one Super Bowl winner this year.
It ain't going to be the Cowboys. They ain't going to no damn Super Bowl.
Who do you have?
Okay?
I know you ain't taking
no damn Super Bowl.
I know you ain't taking the Steelers. That's your team. So don't be trying to, you ain't taking my team. Your team ain't going neither.
All right, I know.
Well, I ain't saying my team ain't going. I'm saying your team ain't going.
Your team ain't going either.
I don't concur with that.
I think it's going to be either a rematch of Kansas City, Philly, or Kansas City, Detroit.
So you got Kansas City in no matter what.
They could lose. I just don't see Patrick Mahomes and those boys doing it. I don't see it.
Yeah, he is a different beast, a lot like you. Always perform under pressure. My brother, appreciate you taking the time.
You know, baby.
Love you too,
man.
man. Go ahead on, do your other show, man. Thank you, man.
Yep.
My dude.